All right, good evening, Litchfield, and welcome to the December 1st, 2022 meeting of the Litchfield Conservation Commission. Call this meeting to order at 6:34 p.m. I think what we'll do right now is rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Diane?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Ms. Plansky, if you could take us through the roll call.
Mr. French.
Here.
Mr. Croto.
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Here.
Ms. Plansky is present. Mr. Mazigian.
Here.
Ms. McGibbon. Here.
Okay, we have 6 members. We have 1 full-time member missing, which is Matt. So we're going to appoint Mr. French. We would like to appoint you to a full-time member this evening, which means you can vote on stuff.
Excuse me, Chairman Brennan?
Yes.
Can I make a point of order? Did Mr. French get sworn in?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I.
You got sworn in this
At Town
afternoon.
Hall
Great,
this
thank you.
afternoon.
Thank you.
So, Mr. French, would you become a full-time member for the evening?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Okay, so that gives us 6 voting members. And welcome, Mr. French, by the way. Could use the help.
Thank you.
Okay, so public input related to non-agenda items. Seeing nobody's in the public, we'll open and close public input. First item on the agenda, Thoreau Development Plan Review, which is the gas station and the storage units. Joan, you want to help us out here?
Sure. Do you have availability of the map online, on
I do.
screen, or?
Yep.
I did some outlining of the lines today, and just so everybody knows where this is, everybody knows where it is, just south of our Morris Falls property.
Yep.
Mr. French, you're familiar?
Yes.
Okay. So they are proposing, they'll be at the planning board December 6th, for their first meeting to accept the application at the planning board. We are a northerly abutter to the property, so we got an abutter notice, and our function would be to address the lighting, or address what we would like to see abutting our property. So we would be looking at buffering, lighting, that spillover lighting, not lighting on the site, anything that would affect our northerly property. So I did some outlining of, how should I hold this up, just to you?
I think we can see it pretty well.
Okay.
And then what map number are you on?
It's mapped 22, lot 11.
And what page are you on the plan, just so I can bring it up over here?
I'm on the first page, master site plan,
Okay, that's what I'm on right now.
because the existing conditions plan is really busy. So, on the tax map, right, you have tax maps, map 22, lot 11. As I said, our Morris Falls property is to the north. So I outlined the blue, this is off their road development plan, proposed commercial development. The blue is the wetland flagging line, is actually where the jurisdictional wetlands is the blue.
Okay,
The orange is the 2 brooks. This is Leech Brook to the south and unnamed brook to the north. The green is the existing tree line that you see there today. Okay, and then the yellow would be the post-development, after development tree line. So to give you some, maybe the test.
hold on a second, Joe. I'm gonna pull a MacGyver here.
All right.
Might be able to put that up on the screen.
I love technology.
So keep going while I'm
Okay, so basically what the Conservation Commission needs to do is, what do you want to see on your property for buffering, or what do you want them to do to buffer their impacts against you? like I said, they'll say probably at the planning board meeting that their lights are all down, they have to have downcast lighting that won't spill over. But as you can see, the solid line is our property line, we're going to be able to see it. So we could ask for buffering along here. Buffering along here because the yellow is the post-development tree line. We'll be able to see most likely the storage units. You need to go out there and stand in the middle of Morris Falls Field up just by the parking lot and visualize what you're going to be looking at.
How much is that going to disturb the wildlife at night, Joan, do you think? Because it's not going to disturb people using Moore's Falls because it's going to be nighttime lighting.
Well, we don't know how late they're going to be open.
Right.
What do you mean? Well, it's a, how big is the site? It's 26 map 22 lot 11, Jason. Is 15 acres. Does not back up to the river, backs up to the old trolley track and frontage on 3A. So there'll be disturbance. It's going to be a developed site after, you know. It's
Well,
not
I'm
developed
thinking
now.
about the lights.
Oh, the lights.
Specifically the lighting.
Well, most likely be lit down the back too, so
So everywhere.
the lighting in the front, I mean, you have 3A, so,
They've already got lighting
Right.
there, yeah.
but what I'm saying is you don't want, and they'll show, there is a lighting plan in this package. They'll show that the lighting stays on their site, the light can't trespass over to our site, but we'll be able to see it, is what I'm saying. So
Okay.
if we had some buffering along this northern property line, it would make a big difference. And as well along down this way. Right here in the middle, where the wording is, it's not too bad because they're way, I don't exactly know the footage right here, but they're a ways away. But I just wanted you to see the difference of the different lines and understand where the wetland line is. They have to be 50 feet. There's a 50-foot non-disturbance line from the wetlands, but as, you know, they got the special exception to be a little bit in the buffer with the road. They have all that information. Go
Joan,
ahead.
did they correct the plan? Remember we had, or I guess you had suggested on widening that road down the back?
Slimming the road down through here so that it wouldn't be as much of an impact
Yeah.
on narrowing it.
And that's been fixed
Yeah.
as far as the plan.
So they come a little bit more out.
And what about the holding pond though?
The retention pond down the back?
Yeah,
I can't remember now if they've changed that, but
because that was going to spill into the,
it's still exiting out into the brook,
Into the
Leech
brook.
Brook, yeah. But they'll explain all that at the planning board, that, you know, they have how it works and how the retention works and et cetera.
So what are your major concerns? What are your major focus areas? Number one, it seems to be buffering.
My major concerns are lighting, buffering, and litter. I don't want to see litter at all on our property, blowing. Lighting is a concern. They're so close to our property line, they have to take some trees down on the Edwards Auto side. Our prop, this heavy, you can't get that up there on the map, huh? On
I'm
the
trying,
screen.
it's not
That's
going
okay.
through.
oh, you just have,
There it is.
Our property line is this heavy line. There you go,
there you go.
Good job.
Perfect.
excellent.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's
Good.
okay, good job. I like
Now-
the color.
You said that they're probably gonna have to take down some of the trees on,
On the south side,
Yeah,
towards
on this
Edwards.
side.
okay.
So that doesn't affect us, well, you know, overall.
Now, can they replace it with some sort of shrubs or?
Fruit trees or
Are you
something?
talking about the south side?
Yeah,
We're mostly concerned with the north
North
side.
side, yeah.
They have to have clear line of sight, so, I don't know.
Do you know what you want to go in there for buffering foliage?
something dense, something that we could, go ahead, Jason.
So let's,
Yeah.
figure out
It's
what
up to
the
you
end
guys.
game is. So the
Yeah.
end game is we've got to provide a letter to the planning board
Right,
with our input. So it sounds like there's at least 3 items that we're looking for the planning board to consider when the plan comes in. Number 1 is, I think the most important is the buffer, the vegetation buffer.
right.
So let's take that one first. And so, Joan, what are you thinking? So what I read in the plan, and the plan was on the portal, is that it looked like the vegetation that was there already, can't really see this line, but there's a bubble there, and then there's like bubbles here. It
Right,
said they weren't gonna disturb that on the plan.
well, but
When we were there,
their
they said it
corner
too.
of the pavement comes right up to the property line, isn't it?
So this corner right here of this pavement.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like it's paved.
the buffer of trees is actually right
Right,
here.
right,
But
on their
when they
property.
clear that out, we're obviously gonna be able to
Right.
see through the trees and stuff. So I don't think I don't think they could shift the thing around at
no,
all.
they
but-
can't, it's not unreasonable to ask them to plant on our property
our
buffer.
side?
Right,
Okay,
right.
so I think that's something we could probably ask for, is see if they could,
And remember, this is the first meeting at the planning board, so we've got a ways, but it's good to get the letter in as soon as we can, for the first meeting.
is there, when you looked at the plan, did you see any other, did you have concerns out back here? You know,
Yes,
so.
Yes. Because all that, let's see, the yellow is the tree line after development, so that will be the tree line. So the dense tree line that you have, dense pines and things that you have there that you won't have, where the green line is. So you'll be able to see through from Moore's Falls.
Okay, sorry, I'm going back up
We
here
can't, you
again.
don't see our
I just had to
property
get
line.
my head wrapped around.
Yeah,
this.
they're gonna take it all
So,
down or just through?
This right here, right, Joan, is all trees currently.
Right, where the green is,
All
right,
that.
all that, right.
And then when they finish the project,
The yellow is the tree line.
They're gonna clear cut it
it's
probably.
gonna go like that.
The yellow is the tree, because see where their buildings are,
Oh,
their
okay.
storage,
So
and their
this,
retention pond.
and does this line, where does this?
That's the after development tree line, the yellow.
End result.
Does it
and-
come up, but then where does it go? Does it come back up to here? What, like, this,
No,
this is
no.
vacant anyway. This,
right,
I think your coloring might have been off right here. Maybe we should erase this yellow piece.
well, then it goes a little bit to the north, I missed a little chunk to the north there. Well, that's existing, and then the dark is the
Okay.
after development.
So only the green that are in between the two yellows is probably what's gonna be taken out, is that correct?
No,
All
you've
the
got-
green's gonna be taken
Yeah.
out?
You've got to, see where the,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
this is the retention
I think
pond.
Diane's right.
This is the retention pond. So these are the buildings. So all this is taken out.
Yeah.
This
Right,
is-
but just the green line that's
the
in
green line
between
is
the
what's
two
there
yellow.
today. The green line's today.
Right, but what's gonna be cleared is what's between the yellow, not what's outside the yellow, that's
This
up
is
by
all-
the pink, right? See the green that's
This
up
is
by the pink?
already, remember, you've got that plateau, it comes down.
Yeah.
It's
She's missing my point.
brushed, yeah, I don't know.
So what Diane is saying is that
Michael,
if
feel
you-
free to.
if you intersect these two, this is the piece right here that is woods right now, that is
Right.
not gonna be woods.
Right.
That's what you were saying?
Right, but all the green that's to the right of it, outside of that
Above,
yellow,
Right there, yeah.
that's all gonna stay, right? All that's gonna,
This is the property line. This is gonna stay, correct.
okay, that's
Right.
what I'm asking.
So
Oh,
point to
okay.
the areas where you're concerned.
Okay.
Okay, here, because this is, remember, a higher elevation, this property falls away, so you really, from 3A, you're not gonna be able to see, quite see all this, because the elevation drops. I wish Jim Petropoulos was here, but anyway, come to the planning board, you'll get a good overview. Okay, so basically you'll be able to see this from the road. From our property, from our property, you'll be able to see this, so the main concern is right here, along this whole stretch here, to the brook. Starts falling, here's the topo line, starts
Okay.
falling, and then down in here. Buffering.
So maybe what we can do is in the letter, say, request that they put additional vegetation buffering along, maybe we can include a map, along point A and along point B.
Right,
And we don't care if that buffering is on our property.
well, right, it would be nice if it'd be on our property, right.
I think providing a map's a good idea, Jay.
Yeah. And I gotta see what the trail is too, like the trail is
Trail's-
not on there, but it's
well,
pretty
'cause
close
it's
to
on
the
our
property
property.
line, if I remember.
Don't-
Well, because you have, there's
I
the
think
park,
it should-
there's our parking lot, or I guess it's.
Okay, so the trail kind of goes off that way.
Oh, here's our parking lot, and there's the power line easement.
All right.
Check this out.
Okay.
Um, The trail runs.
Now, the power line staying, they're not gonna change
That's
any?
New England Power, right, they're not going in.
Yeah.
The power
that's-
lines are on our
that's
property.
Yeah.
already- Yeah, that's not true.
And
Yeah,
so see, look how close the trail is
right,
to the property line.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Diane, if we were to overlay those two, I think this piece right here,
gonna
like you were
stay.
saying,
It's
is gonna go.
It's gonna go.
That's gonna go.
Okay, because that's part of, you think that's part of the store, where the
Yeah,
storage
that's where the
buildings are gonna
storage
be?
buildings, right.
Okay, but the ones up to the right, that, where
That's-
you are right there, that's
That's
gonna
stuff.
stay.
This-
Yes,
This stays, and it looks like if I were to overlay the two, that this would go.
That's gonna all go.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
but then remember, it's at a lower elevation too than where the gas station
My
is.
So-
concern would be this.
Right.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Eric.
I was gonna say there's three areas then.
Right, three, you're
There's
right.
the one up front where the trail is.
There, that's gonna be
Well,
a
it's
big
directly
one.
abutting
that's
the gas
big
station.
one.
that's the
And then
parking
see
lot.
where the
Got it.
trail is?
Okay, yep.
Yep.
Yep,
Trails
right
up
there. And all
No,
along that
further
area.
down. Is it
Well, where the
Yeah.
trail is and then.
right there?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That would be another area.
Well, those trees are
That
gonna
might,
stay.
should stay, yeah. It's the ones,
And then down where the retention pond is gonna be.
On
Right,
storage, well, yeah, the
if you
storage
could
units.
overlay it, it would be
Yeah, I gotta-
easier too, yeah.
That would have been, if I were thinking, I would have done that. Let me go back into here. Okay, so just to get your mind set. So it looks like this is the area outside, or the yellow is the new tree line, so we're 80%, 90% away down the trail. So if I kind of hold that and then I go back to here, so that's gonna creep up around in this area.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
maybe we can have them
Shit,
add some, if possible, add some vegetation. It's pretty thick in there right now. but
it is.
It's like pucker brush.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the stream comes
It's
down,
cut off.
the stream does, crosses back over onto our property, by that top of that pink line.
Okay, in here
Jeez, I
somewhere.
didn't even think it was gonna be that close, Harry, you're right.
But yeah, we can, I mean, you can ask for anything.
All right, so let's do that. We'll just
You can overlay it.
request that, we have to write them a letter. They meet on Tuesday, so we gotta like crank this thing out pretty quick. So I think number one is we'll ask for additional buffer, and it can be on our side of the property for at least at point A and B.
And I think there was three, right?
Is there a third?
Down at the end.
Well,
The
I
middle,
thought there would be a
Yeah.
third because where the trail comes from,
Like in here?
yeah, but apparently.
except that you still have those trees
Except
there.
they're not gonna disturb that area.
Right,
So.
because see where the wetland line is the blue line. So
Oh, they can't do anything?
No, they've gotta be 50 feet from the no disturbance,
anything.
but they're
There
way.
you go,
they're
okay,
way
we're
away.
good. We should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They have to be 50 feet out from there.
Yeah.
Just from the blue line on either side, so, but,
Ah,
right.
look at that.
All right, so
So a
are we
map
good
with
on
a
lighting?
request.
Are we good on buffering?
yeah.
All right, so we'll include in the letter additional, see if they can put additional vegetation in those two areas.
And then we'll, you know, work on what type, we don't have to have that right now.
So the second item that you had was,
Lighting.
Lighting.
Lighting,
there is a lighting plan in
right,
here.
there is.
And let me just see if I can find it.
Page towards the back, it's, landscaping.
It had a bunch of numbers on it.
It's,
lumens.
yeah, it's not, it doesn't have a page number. But, I mean, it's just a bunch of numbers, it shows where the
This
scatter
right here.
will be, lighting scatter will be.
Okay. Oh,
Michael, right, they can't trespass, light can't trespass off of their property.
Right.
So they have downcast lighting, but the point is, we'll be able to, I mean, it's a gas station, you're gonna be able to
So
see.
0.0
guess-
means there's no scatter in those areas, is that right? Oh, but then there's 1.7, 1.8.
yeah. So it looks like right on top of the lights, they're at a, I'm looking, sorry, this, I like this version of Adobe, but it is, I saw a 3 in here, I see 2.2s. So the property line is right here, right, I'm assuming,
No,
and then I see,
No, is that the property line, or is that the?
that might be the edge of the.
Parking, edge of the parking.
So
lot?
our property line is probably around here somewhere. They don't have the property line on top of
No,
here.
no, they don't.
But if you're right on top of a light, which is right here, it looks like it's a 3.3, there's a 3.3 right there.
They have to be downcast lighting, they're not supposed to be up, anything shining up, right, Michael?
So what do we, so Joan, I think the thing is here is just
The buffering, I think, will
Limit.
help.
limit,
And what hours are they gonna be
Well, the
open?
hours of operation, that's what I was gonna say.
What? Hours?
What's that gonna
Hours
be?
of operation,
Yeah.
is it
I
24
don't
hours?
know, it might be a benefit at night. We know we've seen a lot of little Smirnoff bottles over there.
No, I think it'll be a benefit.
Maybe it's a sensor light, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
A camera and a horn.
Yeah.
Put that up.
So the other thing too, there's another item, but keep going.
So on lighting, what are you thinking there, Joan?
I mean, they'll address lighting at the planning board, and then we can always come back again with another letter, so let's see what they have to say at the planning board.
We
There'll be a
can
big
make a
presentation
statement
Tuesday.
that we're concerned about lighting.
I think that's good enough,
And
and at least they'll,
that's,
Yeah.
it's bringing it to the,
Right,
forefront.
and so
All right.
we don't forget it, and hours of operation.
okay.
Okay,
Got-
and then the
do you have
third?
that?
And then,
Thank
the canopy, did you wanna talk about the canopy? That's
So-
really, let me just say, that's really a planning board issue, but we can address it with, just because of
Yeah,
visuals.
so if you look at this, if I, let me see if I can come back out here. To one page. Okay, so here's what it's intended to look like. So this will be our neighbor, right here. Doesn't say how it's built, doesn't say if it's wood siding or anything like that, but I assume it's vinyl siding. But that's the look and the feel of the store. Doesn't look too bad.
No.
Personally, I think
I
it
don't
would be
hate it.
cooler if it had a little,
Porch.
if
Country
it had a
look,
porch, a covered porch.
country look type
I think
thing.
a
Yeah.
porch,
Yeah.
try for a porch.
But as long as they're gonna
Farmer's
have
porch.
the, you know,
Yeah,
I like
as long
the
as
porch
they'll
idea.
have the cupola up there, that's a help, that, you know, gives
Yeah.
it some
Yeah.
kind of
Buffer,
character.
character, right?
yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna jot this down. Okay, so then the other thing that we had a little bit
If that's the actual
of a
picture.
concern with being a neighbor is, see if I can hit the page down button here. There. Okay, so out in front of the store are gonna be the gas pumps. And what they proposed here is a mobile blue awning over the over the gas pumps. Which
It's
I'm
gotta
not
be
sure if
mobile
that
gas.
fits within the character of the neighborhood, but that's really a planning board decision.
Right.
If you go to Bedford, I don't think I've ever seen this. Usually they have an awning that essentially just looks like a peaked roof, and it doesn't have any colors on it, isn't wrapped in mobile or
white.
Irving or anything like that.
It's white.
It's just a simple,
Unobtrusive.
simple awning with no colors or anything like that. Now,
Do
it's
you want to
something
show
that
them the
they,
picture you had of
Oh, yeah.
the one
See
in
if I have
South
that.
Carolina?
yeah.
What was that material was the canopy made out of? Do you have any
I had a
idea?
couple of pictures here. Let me see it.
I have it if you,
Oh, Diane has
this
it.
is there. Can you see?
That's what they want to do?
Yeah, it's typical.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then this is what Jason had in South Carolina.
Oh, I like that.
But we don't know, I did mention
That looks like
it.
it's wood,
Yeah,
but,
but I did mention it, and, there was a question of, is that wood? Like
It's
gas
kind of
station?
and
like
show
it.
them what the other one looks like, Joan. Too, for comparison.
Typical gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd rather not have that look.
Right.
That's what I'm assuming it's gonna look like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even thought of that till it was there and.
And
it
not
would've
for
gone-
nothing, these guys are doing the design,
Right.
and they probably have someone coming in here, and there's a brand standard, and they come in with a helicopter, and they just go bloop.
Right.
Not really with a helicopter, but I'm not being a little,
But do you know
don't
what-
put that in the minutes.
Do you know what that is made out of?
Too late.
The wood?
No, I don't, that's,
What?
I'm assuming it's made out of
Could
wood.
be, you know what it could be, is like the tin roof type stuff.
I don't think it's tin roof, it looks, can't think of the term. Something like you have out in the backyard with a,
The-
but the problem
Material?
with that is that an enclosed roof?
No.
In other words, rain can come down through that?
I don't think so.
No.
Well,
No.
that-
Ask, Jason's the one who took the picture.
I don't think so.
I don't think the rain goes through it.
Here's the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, so it's a
looking.
Yeah,
regular,
that's.
it's just a regular roof.
Can you send that picture to, with the, letter?
Yeah, good.
That would be
That would be,
nice.
yeah.
Look,
Looks
they
like
even
it's got a
in-
metal roof on it, but.
It
Yeah.
does, and they even enclose the gas pumps.
Yeah, with probably a metal
Little
roof thing.
kiosk looking things.
Yeah.
It's kinda cool.
To me, it's
looking.
not really a stretch either, you know, you're not
No.
talking a major,
probably,
But it would make it not stand out, so,
might be less expensive, and I don't, but that's a good point to put it in the letter
okay,
with the picture,
Especially up front.
right.
yeah.
Get it
Yeah.
up front and.
All right, so I
Something
think we have three things, and let's just see if we can wrap this up.
Do you want to
So,
make a motion with what you've got?
No,
Not yet?
No.
Okay.
so we've got the buffering with the trees, we have the lighting, we have the look and feel comment, and then you mentioned, Joan, litter.
All right.
I've constantly said this to Renee, and it's, but I think it would be worth putting it
Yeah.
into the letter, that we don't expect any, and the buffering would help if we had trees, then we wouldn't get the blow through or anything.
They do have, in here, if I go to page 1, so they did have a path that goes from the gas station
Right, and do we want that?
to Moore's Falls.
They always had mentioned that right from the beginning, do we want that path? Because their feeling was, if people wanted to come back and forth to get a snack or whatever, they don't want them walking down 3A, which is
I
a
see.
good point.
I was a no on that, but now I'm like in between.
I think I'm okay with it.
So long as, it would be really
Wow.
nice, that's when they said that they put trash cans down there. And that they would empty
won't.
them.
I asked Renee, they won't.
Where's the path?
There you
That
go,
little
Harry,
mark
right
right there.
here. So there's the Moore's Falls parking lot,
Yeah,
and there's the path. Picnic area,
I mean, do we want to encourage that, or do we want to,
My gut feeling is no.
Me
I want the
too,
path closed down.
me too. And if you're
Because
going to Morris
we're
Falls,
having-
park in
Go
the
ahead.
parking lot. If
Yeah.
you're going to Morris Falls, park in the
Otherwise, they'll
parking
be
lot,
parking in the
Yeah,
Yeah,
convenience
yeah,
store.
Right.
with a
I could go
soda.
either way on that. I'm
Yeah.
fine with the path.
I was a
mean,
no, but then I'm kind of thinking it might be nice with that picnic area, that people could not necessarily go to the gas station, but could still use that picnic area.
Yeah,
my concern would be more at nighttime with that path open.
it's gonna be lit up, it's a gas station, it'll be lit up. What do you mean?
Pardon?
What do you mean, you're concerned at nighttime?
Well, okay, if that path is open onto into our property,
Yeah,
okay, so they could pull in there and go out
They
to
can
our.
do that from our parking lot.
exactly.
We don't have, it's not like the river access that is closed.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
But at least with the parking lot, what we have is, we have the gate, we have the signs, we have,
But the gates, so you don't drive, you don't drive into past the gate. The
but with
walking-
that path, you
Yeah.
have, you know.
Maybe we could let them put it in. If we have a problem, we can always close it down.
Put a gate up or
Yeah.
something.
Or,
We could put a gate up
well,
there.
you don't wanna, but you don't want to start that issue and then close it down
Yeah,
after.
right.
So, what do you, Michael, what do you think?
So let's do this, just to see what folks think. Diane, that's,
do me last.
I'll go first. I don't mind
Say
the
yes
path
or,
there,
you gotta be yes or no.
just due to the fact that folks are gonna go over there anyway,
Right.
and this is just like a safer kind of cut through.
And it's got a picnic area.
And if there is a problem,
And
you
they
know,
have
you could shut it
bathrooms.
down and put up a fence or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I would go with that.
That's just my opinion, but
Right, what about you, Harry? You're,
I'm
Yes or no?
definitely against leaving the path open,
okay.
because what I'll end up doing is we'll end up reacting to something instead of being proactive.
But also, you don't want people walking up and down 3A.
Yeah, safety.
so it looks like we're mixed on this one,
The-
Mr. Croto.
The
so-
concern I have,
Michael, why don't you?
We'll throw it into
All right,
the
so which way
planning
are
board
you leaning, Fred?
I'm looking at, with the activity in there, there's gonna be people going to the convenience store, buying sodas and whatnot, and not having a place to dispose
No,
of.
they said they would have a barrel on their side.
Okay,
But they're gonna
And
drink
we-
it on
and-
our side.
so I just think there's gonna be a lot more litter than there is today.
I agree.
We, in the letter, put that we want a barrel on their side.
Okay,
Okay,
And I think they had said that way back in
All
the
right.
very beginning.
they did, I think,
That's-
Diane, you actually asked for that.
That's fair.
I did.
Somebody
But
did.
they don't,
Yeah,
they
I
will
did.
not put it on our side. I've already talked to Renee about that.
Gee, I think if we went back to the tapes, I think you would see, although maybe he said it when we were there. Because I remember thinking, oh my God, that would be so good.
If, if they have the barrel on their side, they're the ones creating the what do I want to say, amenities, soda,
Yes.
whatever.
Okay,
Then
So,
they
not
have
to-
so that barrel
on
would be
their
at the
side.
path?
Wherever, I mean, that's
Would be
the
right
least of
here.
our
It would be, it would
problems.
have to be
Yeah.
right at the
Yeah.
path, because
Yeah.
that's where people are gonna be walking with their
okay,
traffic.
not to be totally negative.
Okay.
Which, like,
No, this is good.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
usually are in like
is you have
alignment.
that path open, okay, well, number one, what's our biggest problem as far as litter?
Dogs.
Okay, so that's number one.
No, that's number 2.
Well, actually, you,
Don't put that in the
Oh,
minutes.
Jay, that was just low hanging fruit, dude.
Okay, go ahead.
okay, so that's
We'll edit that.
number 2. But then you have the problem of, it's multiple use. And as far as vehicles, they can drive a vehicle through there.
No, they
Is-
can't. Where? Through where? The path?
That path.
No, they
it's
can't.
not
It's a
gonna-
path. It's a
gonna be
walking
like the
path.
River
It's a walking path,
canoe path.
right there.
However, Harry has a point. There is a gap between those trees right there. I don't see this I mean, there's a curb, so they have to run over the curb. but there is a gap between those trees.
Well, so
you know.
maybe we say we definitely want,
And then what about the leash situation on the dogs?
Oh, you're getting off topic, Luis. Well, wait a minute. First of all, it's a walking path. Yeah, there's a gap between the trees, but
maybe we ask
we
that
can,
the gap be
they can
closed in.
control that. Close the gap.
Let's kick
Close the
this
gap.
can down the road.
Yeah, yeah, let's,
Um,
I would agree with Jason that,
Kick it down the path?
no, that, let it go in.
See what they
Oh, let
come
it
from.
stay.
And just see what happens.
All right.
They're gonna go through a few planning
Oh,
board
yeah, I
meetings,
mean,
and
this,
if we,
they're
Okay.
just getting to the planning board.
Okay.
we have another bite
This
at
is-
the apple here yet,
Oh.
I think.
That's fine.
Much
The,
more.
the benefit I see of a trash can there is that one of the, Harry brought it up, one of the biggest problems is dog waste, and people picking up the dog waste with the bags and leaving the bags.
So maybe they'll walk over and dump it in their garbage.
Maybe they'll
That,
dump it
if
in
it's
their
right there,
garbage.
that's why I was asking where it would be. If it's right at the end of the path and the path opens up onto our path, absolutely they will.
Sure they will.
The garbage can will be on their side. And
Yeah,
dump it.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right,
I like
let's-
it.
I like it. All right, so all of a sudden, we're kind of more into it now, right?
Diane, what do we have? Oh,
All
anybody
right, we
else have
have-
any comment on this?
I mean, we're not gonna belabor where the trash can is gonna go at the planning board meeting.
Well, I
I
just,
see Michael cringing
I
over
think
there.
if we got in a situation where you didn't want them to go, we could always use build a berm, not a
Right.
real tall one, but
You
put a
could.
berm in so that people couldn't,
If it's a
Take-
I
problem,
think as long as the existing owner owns a property, we have good,
option.
good,
A good
communication.
neighbor,
Just- And I don't know what will happen in the ownership down the road, but right now, good communication.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
good.
we have 4 items, the buffer, the north side of the property line onto our property. We want to request additional vegetation buffering and provide them a map with the areas that we want vegetation put on. 2, we have lighting, we're concerned about the lighting. Because we don't know what we want to say yet, we're just going to say we're concerned about the lighting. The canopy, we're going to send a picture with the letter over the pumps, difference than the blue, mobile blue. And then litter, we want to talk about a barrel put on that path that they have proposed.
Jason, is there any way you can go to the Tuesday night meeting?
Yes, I think so,
Because,
not traveling.
Mike, when would a butter comments come up? Would come up after their presentation, right?
Right, so there'd be an opportunity for public comment.
Okay.
So,
That'd be great.
Joan, wasn't there
Okay.
some problem brought up about that last holding pond? I could have swore that it's the one way down on the property.
I don't want to answer for the engineer. I think, Jason will be at the meeting, hopefully be able to hear their presentation in the beginning and then
Okay.
go from there.
But we'll send our letter so that it's
But our letter
there.
will address the issues and then,
Okay.
I mean, like we said, this is the very first meeting. They'll accept the application. The planning board has 60 days, or is it 90 days now, Michael? 60 days?
I think it's still 60.
60 to approve or deny, but there might be extensions. So we have some time.
I went through the plan and I thought it looked pretty good.
But Michael, it won't get approved in one night, right?
Do you want me to dummy this up?
There's
We gotta
still,
change mine.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that would be good.
there's,
We gotta get through acceptance.
there's still engineering
It's a lot of
comments to
stuff,
go. The fire department wrote, they wrote a letter. Luke Karen has issues,
Yeah,
it'll be a
This is
while.
gonna be, this project is gonna.
All right, is there anything else on the gas station?
I would just say, and I know some of you guys who attended the Lower Merrimack River last night, and I know some of the members of the committee were a little bit concerned because the engineer really didn't address issues with spills.
Was Jim there?
No, it was
What?
someone else.
Okay.
So the
Gas
two storage basins, the basins, the 2 basins.
The detention basins.
Detention basins, they were concerned about those.
They have
right,
oil
Michael?
separation up in the front,
Yeah.
up here. Up
They didn't.
They're talking about a manual plug that had to be,
Right, they really didn't go
How that was
into
gonna be-
specifics of how that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, well, who's gonna handle it? The cashier or, the people in the, I mean, they were like, how are they gonna do-" They weren't exactly enthused about the gas station, I'll tell you.
No, they were not.
So, but,
They weren't wild about
that
the
was
storage
something that came
basins
up.
either.
I'm just letting you guys.
About what?
The basins, they weren't real thrilled with those.
Well, if you have time, come to the planning board meeting Tuesday. There'll be a really good presentation, I'm sure. Jim Petropoulos is the engineer, and there'll be
Who
an
was
over.
it that was there last night, Michael?
I don't know, I was trying to look, because Fran sent out all of the comments, but he didn't send out the one for Litchfield, which is odd.
Yeah.
All the others did.
Yeah, it seems to me that there was a comment about concerns about spills up front.
I mean, all that will be addressed Tuesday night, and
At the
and you,
planning.
It's the how.
you can come to the meeting and ask questions. We're butters, so
All right, so I think, anybody else have anything on this? I think we
beat it to death.
beat this one to death, at least for the first pass. I think we have
Yeah,
enough
Yeah.
to put something in. All right,
So, Jay, you
good,
gonna-
Harry?
I'm done.
Okay, everybody good? All right, next, we'll go to
Can
the
I just
next.
ask, are you gonna write the letter and,
Yeah, she's gonna type it
I'm gonna
up the
buff-
initial one, and then I'll fluff it up and put the map in there.
The map and the picture of the other awning that you have.
Okay.
send
I'll
it to
put
me when you do?
So we gotta do that probably tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
I
then
might go home
we'll
and just
run
do
it-
this tonight.
We'll send it out to everybody.
Okay, great. Sounds
And
good.
actually, maybe Joan, you can be the third proofer.
Okay,
The third
Um,
poofer.
Yeah.
sounds good.
Next item on the agenda, pickleball courts. So, we got Chris here from Recreation. Come on up to the table, state your name
You can sit with me.
for the record.
Get straightened out here.
I wish I got Joan's nap, I'm a fall asleep.
I'm wide awake now.
No,
Oh, cool.
I'll share with you.
Oh, cool. All right, excellent.
What map are you on?
Let's go, I'll go to the map.
I'm Chris Burns, from 4 Center Street, and I'm a member of the Recreation Commission. And I'm here to talk about the pickleball construction, pickleball court construction at Sawmill Brook Park.
Hang on a second, let him get the map up.
Sure.
Good, thanks.
Okay, cool.
Good?
Yep.
Oh, we have two TVs? Whoa,
I know.
Three.
I don't even know where to look.
good
So-
grief.
So back in April, we had some members of the Litchfield Pickleball Association come to one of our meetings, and they were asking for us to make some repairs to the tennis courts at Sawmill Brook. And we didn't have it in our budget. It was pretty expensive, so we explored some other options for them. And this is just kind of an overview of where we're at and how we got there. So the goal is right now, to construct some new pickleball courts in the town. The Board of Selectmen has approved the use of impact fees for the construction of the courts. Some members of the rec committee, myself included, we met with a wetland consultant at the site at Sawmill Brook Park to evaluate whether or not there was some wetlands back there. We had Greg Jeffries provide a sketch. Once we did find out that there were some wetlands, he was able to put that on a map for us and give us a design for the area that we're looking at. And it does stay outside of the 50-foot buffer for the wetlands. And we're working with the building inspector as well. So the second page here does show what we're looking at up on the screen here. It's the two parcels of land at Sawmill. The small parcel up front is where the tennis courts are. That's parcel B. That's about 2 acres, and then about 35 acres is parcel A. So specifically, the area that we're talking about or looking at for the new courts is that wooded area that's between the tennis courts and the fields. It's about 5.5 acres there. And like I said, there are some wetlands in there now, but we can stay outside of there. So the next page shows our initial design or kind of just a rough idea of what we were looking to achieve with it. We figured that gave us really kind of the best location. This was before we found out about the wetlands or anything like that, but, you know, just being parallel with the tennis courts, and we already had the parking there with the lot that jets off there. And we'd get a decent amount of courts in there for them and other people in town to use. So the next page is the map that we got from the wetlands consultant, BAG Land Consultants. Came out, flagged off the wetlands, and so all these little triangles that you see are what he found. And I believe he said that most of what he saw was really just some poor drainage from the construction of the park and the development on Fallon. So it's not like it's any vernal pools or anything like that. It's all just kind of soggy ground. Next, we have the map that Greg Jeffries put together for us. In that location with the 50-foot buffer, it looks like we're gonna have to shrink it down to 4 courts. And nothing's been finalized here, but if we stay in that location, that's probably what we'll have to do. There are some other options in that area as well that we might be able to look at, but this is kind of the rough idea right now. So that's what I got. We were just wanted to give you some update on what we were looking at, and just you know, some common courtesy between the two groups, and see if we had if you guys have any questions, have any answers.
Michael, do you think they will be coming to the planning board?
Are they,
Parking and signage, any signage?
There'll be some signage up on the fencing of the courts, really just like, you know, rules or.
Oh, what
you know,
about up by Albuquerque, none?
We won't have anything up there now.
oh, okay.
No, we won't be changing anything up front.
Any changing to the parking?
Currently, no. They're depending on where it goes, if it does stay in there, maybe we can widen that up a little bit. It depends on how much.
There's a lot of spots there, and there's
Well,
only
how-
2 courts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many cars can you fit there now?
I didn't count it. I didn't count in total, but
10, 11, 12.
it's a good amount.
Yes.
You can
There's
have 12.
22 spots just along the tennis courts.
It's really a planning board
That's
question, but
probably
kind of a
plenty.
spillover question.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly welcome to come before the board. Obviously, I assume this is, the town is doing this, so, I mean, it's not I don't
Town,
think it's a
right,
requirement.
town.
Is this a
Yes.
project? Yeah, so they're not required to, but they can certainly come, and if the planning board wants to make recommendations, they can certainly do that.
What would happen, Joan, if they encroach the 50-foot buffer, if the town encroaches the 50-foot buffer?
They shouldn't be encroaching the 50-foot buffer. The 50-foot is a non-disturbance buffer. There's a 75 building setback buffer, but I don't know if this would be considered a structure. I'd have to talk to the building inspector about that, but
It actually says, I think in the zoning, I think it actually says building.
it does. We just read about what definition of structure is. So I guess it would be the 50, they're right at the 50-foot non-disturbance buffer. What about when, during construction, how are you gonna, you could put silt fence up against that 50-foot line?
We can.
Or mark it in the field?
Yeah.
We can talk about the decals that we have that could go in afterwards for the 50-foot non-disturbance buffer. We have,
There won't be any structures on the.
right, but we have
And
decals
it's
that,
closed. It's
we
an
have
increase in impervious surface.
round
surface.
decals that you can post on the 50-foot line so that in the future there'd be no disturbance there.
Look, I learned something else,
Chris, is the fencing around this the same height as the tennis court? Is it proposed?
That's kind of to be determined, but that's my expectation.
Yeah,
The
okay.
perimeter fencing would be about the same height. I think the grade is a little bit lower than the tennis court, so the actual.
But it would
height of the
look
fence is-
similar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We may put some tarps or like a ventilated tarp or something up, because what I've heard is that when you play pickleball up against a wooded area, sometimes you lose sight of the balls
Oh, okay.
with the wood, so we may
For background.
eventually put some tarps up behind it, and I'm saying tarps, it's not really a tarp, but it's, you know, the wind can go through and it just darkens up the.
What do you-
Silly question. Who owns the land?
The town,
Is it
Town
town?
does.
Town.
Yep.
Okay, it isn't under the conservation
No,
No.
Recreation.
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 Right.
Town property.
it's town
All right,
property.
I just-
It's right where the
Right.
tennis
What
courts are,
about-
and then in back there, they have the,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
on the field.
What about lighting? Are you planning any lighting?
No.
No lighting, good. And you'll have hours of operation. That's more, I'm kind of getting crossed over with planning board questions.
Dawn to dusk.
Down to dusk, exactly.
Don't want to-
That's why it's good to have two hats, Joan.
Night putting.
We can put a putting green in there too.
That'd be kinda nice.
Right, anybody else got any questions? Joan?
As long as they stay out of the 50-foot just non-disturbance area, it's nice to see they scaled it back to the 4. And the wetlands consultant was done, and if they're the planning board, there'll be questions there. That's all I have.
Do we need a motion that we don't have any objections to it?
I don't think so. I don't,
No? Okay.
Because they don't have to go to the planning board, so we have
They don't
nobody to
have
send a
to.
letter to.
right, they don't have to
No,
go.
they don't have to. It's not a
They can go if they
Okay.
choose.
Less work.
I had planned to go to the planning board a couple of weeks ago, but there was miscommunication. And
Right.
it was my fault, so yes.
Oh,
I'm-
what's your
I'm happy
time
to go
frame,
to,
what's your time frame on building? That would see how we get
So
to the planning board.
the site work and the pad is really ASAP. Once we finalize our design, that work is being donated to us by someone in town, and they're looking to get it done by the end of the year.
By the end of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Wow.
planning board's kind of full till the end of the year. Not kind of full, is full.
Well, it's a good thing
I
you
mean,
don't need
it's,
to go there.
I mean, if they wanna, certainly they're welcome to come, I'm not gonna, I mean, if they wanna come in and do like a brief presentation or something.
Maybe the 20th,
The 20th, yeah,
December 20th?
Okay.
why not?
Can
I
you
think
meet
if
that-
there's any red flags, that you said you're talking to the building inspector, that those red flags would probably be raised through him.
There was a question about ADA parking. And that would be from the planning board or the building inspector.
Yeah.
ADA access.
Yeah, so in the design of the fence and the gates, they would be ADA compliant to get through the fenced area. But as far as ADA parking, I mean, if we're not changing the lot, we're not really.
Right, well, we were just wondering, ADA, getting to the, like if somebody wanted to watch the pickleball
Yes.
game or pick up a child, you know. So there would be an ADA compliant pathway.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Good. No lights. Okay.
All right. Terry, anything?
No.
Diane?
Thanks, Chris.
Mr. Croto? Mr. French, anything?
No, fine.
So take my, you have my office number, 424-2131, and just call me and verify that December 20th. Just-
2131.
Yeah. Thanks.
Joan, anything else?
Nope,
All
I'm good.
right, good. All right, thank you, Chris. Okay, next item on the agenda, metal detecting on conservation property. Joan,
We need to send a letter to the selectmen perhaps saying, let me back up, there is a state ordinance on state property and state lands. I don't have right off the top of my head. We have nothing on town properties. I think the selectmen need to address that, because there's been issues, many issues on, what can and can't be done on town property. As far as, if you find something, it should belong to the town, shouldn't actually, first of all, you shouldn't be metal detecting or treasure hunting on anybody's property without permission. That's the basic idea.
That's basic politeness, but what do we have to back it up?
Nothing. That's why we need an ordinance.
I
And
was,
that's what they're working on.
I was at the Board of Selectmen this week, just giving an update on that conservation plan that we wrote. And let's see, it was Kim Queenan who actually said that the town was working on that from the selectmen's side of the fence.
Well, maybe we could get an update from them, or,
They have a lot of interest in doing that
All right.
over there.
I'll just contact Chairman Weber and just see where they're at with it, and we can go
Okay.
from there.
okay. Great,
Good on that?
good.
All right, landowner outreach. This is something I want to discuss a little bit in non-public, but one of the things that I'd like to do over the next few months is roll the map out on the table and take a look at some of the properties that we may be interested in at some point in time. Could be now, could be 10 years from now, and just start a process to mail letters to the landowners and just say, hey, if you're ever thinking of selling, just think of us and that as part of the equation. And maybe just do that every single year, make sure we maintain a list of properties, send them a Christmas card, whatever it is.
That's what the state does.
Yeah, that's,
Could we have a subcommittee to, or have just one meeting set aside to do that? Not, maybe not a subcommittee, it's just a one meeting?
maybe we
addition
could.
to-
A
our
workshop,
regular?
a workshop meeting?
I agree, because we really need to all get the map out on the table, get our sticky pins, put them in the map, figure out those pieces of property, and then go from there. Maybe we can do that at the next meeting.
Yeah,
Come up
after the,
with a
ho-
date, do it.
after the holiday, and then, you know, everybody should be,
Do you see anything coming up, Joan, where, I mean, we've had several months where we've had hearings going on. Do you see anything coming up that we're gonna be involved with?
what do you mean as far as
As
what?
far as projects coming on that we're gonna have to,
No, just the gas station, that's it.
okay, that's good to hear, 'cause then maybe we can shorten up our agenda next month and then focus on this
But,
stuff.
I mean, there's always things that are gonna, well, maybe for the holidays they'll slow down a little bit, but, if that January agenda gets too big, could we have a workshop, just a workshop meeting?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would have to be a non-public anyway, because it's 91A
So, then,
3D.
why do it at a regular meeting? Why not have like
On
What-
another
Okay.
day,
All right.
another day? just
another
to
day, just
Have a
do that.
workshop, yeah.
Can
But I suggest
anybody,
we come up with
all
a
right,
date
so if we
for
come up with a
January.
date, do you want to do that before Christmas?
No.
No,
Okay, so sometime in January?
Yeah.
yes,
Anybody have an issue if we add an extra meeting in January where we meet maybe in this room at 6:30, we roll the map out on the table and just talk about that stuff?
No,
Can we pick a date like right now? How about like the 12th is a Thursday? I hate to put it off because then we'll
I-
slide.
Easy. I got mine. I got
Like it
now
has
we'll
been.
have what
All right, Diane?
I mean, I'm just picked out because it was a Thursday.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
should never. have
focus.
opened it. That's my ADD,
She went
just all
ADD
over
on
the
us
place,
there for a
yeah,
second.
I
Ooh,
did,
what's
I'm
this?
back now.
Somebody texted me. Don't put that in the minutes.
Kind of bleak.
In fact, can we take care of that?
I'm teasing you.
Right.
All right, so, our next scheduled meeting will be January 5th.
Right.
So, we probably would want to do it, the 12th or the 19th, if it's a Thursday.
I'm good with the 12th.
Me too.
I am
Right
too.
now.
Me too.
Okay,
no, I'm good with the 12th.
112.
So we'll
Meeting.
schedule,
And we
Yeah,
don't
that's
need
fine.
LTV therefore, it's gonna be a
we
closed
do need to
meeting.
post that meeting. I can, need
you
to tell
post it?
John Brunel, I can post town hall and
Okay.
library. But,
Okay.
Make sure the room's available.
yeah, somebody
Yeah.
make sure the
Good
room's
point.
available.
Okay,
Thanks,
so,
Well, we can also, we can't do it on Thursday at town hall, okay. Because this budget committee will be meeting every Thursday by then? I think so.
so we're gonna add a meeting on the 12th to talk about landowner outreach. All right.
And we anticipate it being here at the fire station,
Well, we have
I
to
think
If it's
schedule,
available.
if it's available.
if available.
And our outreach, okay.
That would be another question for John Brunel.
Okay, great.
Actually, while I'm here, let's just close that out. Let me just go. Mr. Brunel is pretty good about keeping his calendar up to date, so
Yeah,
let me just see if I've
12th
But-
and 19th look like they're both open.
Why wouldn't the
Yeah,
budget?
Fifth conservation, it looks like the 12th is open.
But why wouldn't the budget committee be meeting every Thursday by then?
No, they should have it wrapped up by the 12th.
They will? Okay. All right.
I hope they do.
So maybe we
town
could be
hall.
at town hall then, yeah.
But this room is showing as available both those Thursdays, the 12th and the 19th.
Okay,
So if there's a conflict at town hall,
I might actually prefer it here because we've got,
Cool.
Oh, this TV.
we've got screens.
It's really cool. It does,
Okay.
it does kick in my ADD though.
I don't, yeah, okay, never mind.
Get her another
Thank you.
chair.
Yeah.
I won't be here the 19th, it's my anniversary,
Okay.
so I won't be here.
Okay, so
Twelve.
we're good on
12.
landowner outreach, warrant articles, and budget update. I don't anticipate that we'll have any warrant articles this year. We haven't discussed any, we had one last year, I just wanted to put it on the agenda just in case anybody had any ideas.
Nope.
Okay, good on
What
that.
do we have left in the budget, did you?
So
know?
budget update, I paid the GIS bill, which was $125, and
I got my doggy bags.
I asked Karen how much money we had left in the budget, and it was $240.
Is that before or
So-
after dog bags?
I
think
intend
after.
to spend $240 by the end of the year.
Excellent.
So does anybody have anything that they want to pick up? I want to get
Signage.
some chains for the chainsaw.
Signage, but that would be, I talk to you later about signage that you are getting online somewhere?
Yep,
Are they, what do they run for, like, those signs?
$20, $25, $35 for like the bigger,
All right,
bigger
I
ones.
talked to you about that.
And the budget kicks in, the new one kicks in January, right?
Correct. It doesn't get approved till March, but it kicks in January.
Okay.
So Joan, if you say, or Diane too, because you get a pulse on some, you were talking about signage at one point in time, but if you say, we need 5 signs or
Three or
3
4 or
signs
5,
that
yeah.
say X, Y, and Z, just let me know and I'll order them.
Okay.
I just can't think of any off the top of my
No,
head.
I
but-
actually can't right now either.
I,
And if not,
Joan's got them.
we'll just buy chains for the chainsaw, gas, things like that.
Trimmer, string, trimmer,
Yep.
string.
Trimmer, string, good idea.
yeah,
That
I'm not,
stuff's
I
expensive.
wouldn't spend $200 on signs, maybe 3 signs, just, I'll talk to you about
75 bucks.
signs.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
So we've got to probably spend that within the,
By the end of the year.
Yeah.
Or what-
Probably
did
before, just to
Karen
get-
tell you what the cutoff is?
I don't know, but I would do it before the 20th, just so you can get the expense report in and
Right,
close the books.
right.
So we're going shopping for $249,
$249 or not? or
something like that.
Okay. 204, something, balance, okay. Sounds
Um,
good.
I think I jumped around a little bit.
We got them all though.
So we're at, where are we at?
Old business, that's the end of new
But you
business.
but you did talk about the.
I already talked about
Yeah.
that, so I think I messed up and I jumped.
it's
All right, so we're on to other business. I talked about this one. We're
Okay.
doing the special meeting.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we,
My bad.
that and landowner outreach.
But we did
So
talk
that's
about
the
that.
same
Oh,
thing.
same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other business, property checks and property maintenance. Anybody got any?
Yeah, I stopped over in Moores Falls, and I looked at the,
Kiosk, I
the
have some.
gate or
I have
whatever
some-
you wanna
The gate
call
or
it.
kiosk, I have
Yeah.
some pieces of the kiosk for you.
And, the problem with that is that in the lower left-hand corner, it looks like it's rotting out, okay? So that can be repaired. I can put something in there, temporarily. 'Cause I had this wild idea of pulling it off or unscrewing it, but I looked at the hinge, and the hinge runs the whole
Okay.
way.
You mean the part where the posters are, or the bottom?
The left
No,
side.
in the lower left-hand corner.
Oh, okay.
It's, is actually a major gap there, so, there's material that, we can use to fill it in and put some touch-up paint for right now. As far as
What about long-term?
long-term, it probably needs to be pulled.
It's
and-
pretty old. Did you
Yeah.
pull any pieces off? Because they're in my car. I picked up some pieces off the
Oh,
ground.
yeah, that was the other thing too, is when I stopped there, I found a piece of broken
Yeah, I have all
plexiglass
that in the car.
and a board.
Yeah.
And I looked around at the kiosk and I didn't see.
I couldn't tell where it came from either, unless it came from the right-hand side, the plexiglass is gone, unless it came from there.
Talk about that
I don't
right
think
there.
there was ever plexiglass on the right-hand side,
Yeah, I
was there?
think you're right. Well, way back, but I don't know where that board
But I
came
don't
from.
know where the board came from, and there definitely wasn't a board missing. So,
I noticed that too.
But it
and I
was the
looked
same
around it.
color.
I didn't see where it came from, but it looked
So
the
I-
same color as the
What should I
kiosk.
do with it? It's in my car. What should I do with it? Just toss it?
Chuck it.
chuck it, I guess.
Okay.
Or
So
I
Harry,
did.
it sounds like you're gonna try it. If I go there and I unscrew the door, I'll go through, I'll take the door off.
Yeah,
You could take it from there, you think, or
On the left side
Well-
of the kiosk?
Where
On
the
the
hinge,
left.
you said
The
the hinge is too
plexiglass.
the
long.
plexi,
as far as,
repairing it?
well, I could repair it as it, right where it is.
Yeah, I
Oh,
wouldn't take
okay.
it off.
Yeah,
Wouldn't take it
I
off.
wouldn't take it off right now.
And then never get it back on.
Maybe we'll wait till it gets warmer out, is that what you're saying?
This material that you can, some of the auto repair, bonding material, as long as it's above freezing, just so that we can stop the rot. The only other situation is there is a lock there. Now, should I use the master key or?
No, I have the key. I have the key to that lock,
Good.
Okay,
yeah.
Keep it. Don't give it to
So-
me.
We're gonna find a place to put these keys so that anybody can get in there at any time, but.
matter of fact, in my infamous wisdom, I actually learned how to use the QA code.
Yay, Harry.
Yeah, well, don't get all excited.
You didn't use it, but you learned how.
I could get it turned on, but I don't know how to move it.
Harry, I'll meet you up there some afternoon and show you. It's really easy.
It's real, when you see how
Okay.
easy it is, you're gonna be going,
Okay,
whoa, we're
that's
gonna be
fine.
getting $1 million from Harry.
So, what do you wanna do about the key? Well, I don't actually need the key. I think I can do it without.
I'll just go up there and unlock it,
Okay,
and there's,
I wouldn't leave it unlocked though. If you can do it without the key, go
yeah,
for it.
let me see if I can do it without
okay.
unlocking it, and then,
Will you just send out an email where you are and not during the month?
okay.
And call me, just call me. I'm around. I'll meet you up there. I love it up there.
I
All right,
went out there, I
anybody
went
else?
out there too.
Okay. Oh, I went
and
out
we
there too.
I found that we needed trash bags. I didn't
Fill
find
those
any
up.
dog waste, I did pick up a couple of other things, but I was there to check out the new path that you put in.
Yeah,
Okay.
very nice.
Which I liked really a lot.
It's really not in, I just kinda drilled a pilot hole just to see if it worked.
It's gonna
It needs
work.
work, but.
It's gonna
it-
work.
I walked it once. It's not bad.
bad,
Unless you get
no.
any erosion on that little hill. I picked up one beer can yesterday
Yeah.
and otherwise looked pretty good.
I think that's about what I got, 1 beer can and 1 plastic bottle.
Yeah, the
So,
path looks good. What other did you think you had to do to it?
I think there's a couple of divots in the ground that we might have to just fill in a little bit. There's one part that looks close to a wet area, but there were wetlands flags and it was not on the wet area, but I don't know, in the
Yeah.
spring it might get a little bit damp.
Yeah, it'll be different situation in the spring than it is right now. And
Yeah,
it's nice now
good time
because you
to
can
look
see
at it.
through the woods. It's really nice.
I think it's good because it lets you create a bigger loop. And
Yeah,
When-
it
when-
naturally went into the,
When it grows up, it'll be, we'll have to keep trimming those little sticks, the
Okay.
twigs that come out. But right now it was really nice because you can see through everything. And
I took the DR and I probably made 4 passes. It was a little bit tough getting up that hill
Yeah.
because there's a bit of a hill there. And so I might be able to get out there before the end of the year if it doesn't get too cold. Just check it out. Maybe Fred, if you want to come
Sure.
down with me and check
Yeah.
it out, that would.
Love it.
then you had some stuff at the muster field.
Yeah, Matt and I did more bittersweet cleanup at the muster field.
Oh, speaking of bittersweet, can I go?
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't hear back from UNH yet. Did you hear anything from the county forester? Did you get a chance to call them?
No,
Okay.
I
So,
will though.
in the book
I don't
I sent you,
remember that.
Harry, the bittersweets, I specifically asked the cooperative what we could use near the river. I haven't heard anything back from them. I'll give them another call.
Okay.
So at the last meeting, related to the muster field, I ended up calling the state, the ARM Fund lady
Oh,
at the
okay.
state,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
which is there are grants called the
Resource
aquatic,
mitigation.
you can't remember what it is, but
Aquatic
mitigation.
Mitigation.
And I asked her if it was possible to get funding for a project that might help you stabilize a riverbank. And she actually said yes.
Alright.
But you would need some sort of, she didn't say an engineering design, but you'd have to have somebody look at it to see what could be done. And if you've ever gone across the street from the old fire station, it does drop off
Yeah.
pretty quick. And if we ever get another historic flood, you know, it's just gonna eat away at that shoreline.
yeah.
And
Keeps
she,
caving in.
so she did say that it is possible. And when I emailed her, unfortunately, she also said, oh, by the way, this is my last day. I'm retiring tomorrow.
Who was that?
Lori Summer,
Oh, Lori Summers retiring? Oh,
Yep.
no.
yep. Early retirement, said she's retiring tomorrow, and she CC'd me with the other woman who's gonna be taking over.
Send me that name if you get a chance.
Will do.
Hey, quick question. You sent out a email where you had cut some brush along 3A.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of help were you looking? Just to pick the brush up?
Yeah, if I cut it, Matt has been cutting some stuff, just to drag
But
it out of the way,
It's more like a, isn't it more
Well,
like a,
drag it where now?
just 10
Into
feet
the
away.
field? Into the field?
No,
No,
we're gonna
no.
put it on the side of the field, and then either we'll pick it up, or the highway department's gonna come through and pick it up for us.
it looked kind, I thought it looked like kind of a big job. It was kind of a big pile of brush, wasn't it? Or is
Wait.
it just brush?
It was, say that again, sorry?
Was it just like loose brush and,
It was trees, like, I wouldn't say tree, I think it's like bittersweet or an invasive,
No, they look
Plant.
like a small shrub.
like this big.
Yeah.
Enough, I had to cut it with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
so more than a one-man job or?
It was one.
No, I mean to move the brush.
Oh, no, one person.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You saw me down there that day, I'm just cutting
yeah, I
10
didn't
10
realize
things
that-
and then pulling 10 things out.
I didn't realize that pile was the brush you had taken out.
Yep.
Till I saw the, whatever.
Okay, so you're not gonna pull it into a chipper or something like that?
Not right now, but the highway department might come in and they might be able to chip it and then chip it into the truck and take it away.
Oh, but they need it up by the road? Is that the idea?
They would, I think they could maybe come into the field, I don't know. Look,
Kind of soft.
some parts are soft, yeah.
So
We'll figure it
If
out.
I get some time, just stop there and just haul a brush. I'll just pull it aside.
Is that really what you want?
I would say this, I would keep it where it is right now, and then we can kind of figure out what to do with it, because if the highway guys can come in there, they might just be able to take it and leave with it.
Okay.
If not, then we probably need a few of us to maybe make a big pile out of it, and then throw it on the trailer that we have for the tractor and bring it out, or something like that. It's not that bad, there's not that much, but
You realize you probably took down part of the snow fence across that field.
There is no snow
No.
fence. There is no.
That
snow-
was
oh,
the snow
that was
fence.
the snow
Yeah,
fence.
I know.
That was the snow fence, you're right. Oh,
it
well,
looks better though.
Yeah.
let DOT put the snow fence back up there. They used to.
That's the first thing Kevin said.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Other than that,
Trash pickup went well. I ended up, Jay made me, I offered to pick up trash on one side. I did that the day before.
That
Got
was good.
the stuff from Londonderry, brought that in.
We had about,
Um,
what do we have, like 12 to, I sent the report in, but I forget how many bags.
yeah, 12, 15 bags.
Yeah. So that went well. The fishing derby, I spoke with Paul Lemire.
Yeah.
Oh,
And, you know, he can be talked into it again, right, Paul? No, he can be talked into it again, but he's very concerned. He went to a lot of work to get those poles donated. So he wants to make sure that if it's donated for the kids as prizes, that it's used for the kids as prizes.
Okay, and what we had told him was that he showed his concern at the fishing derby, okay? And what we had told him is the poles that were being used came from the recreation committee and not the prizes that he had donated.
So, okay.
Yeah, okay, he
Yeah.
got somewhat confused and things got kind of hectic.
So we want to make really sure that we don't say at the beginning of this project, which was an error in, people saw that we were going to have rods available, when in actuality, we really never were going to have rods available.
Oh, that's a
It-
miscommunication.
It was a
part, yeah.
miscommunication that occurred. We don't want to have rods to give to people. We have no way of anticipating how
Wow.
many people will need rods, and we want people that are coming to fish to use rods
Right.
that they have.
All right,
Okay.
time out just for a second.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
just gotta reset here. So I'm saying that we moved on to member input,
Yeah, that's.
and that Diane is the first under member input for
Oh,
the minutes.
Okay.
Right,
Sorry.
all right, and then you talked about the fishing derby, all right.
Yep, the fishing derby.
Sorry, just looking over here to help you.
now.
Sorry. He knows that, he's like,
Yeah.
can follow my ADD. So, anyway, I think that we can expect that Paul Lemire will be able to
Okay.
participate and come up with some of the prizes and everything, and that we just probably need to have a sit down with you and Jeff and Paul, and I'll go. And we can talk about what we're gonna have for prizes. He doesn't need to be the only prizes that are there, but he came up with the worms, which was really good, and then he came up with the cups, and I would sit down at that, what we would need for those things with the three of you,
Okay,
and if that's okay with you.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, all right.
It's my turn?
Yep. Then one more thing I have
Anything?
is the shed. Do we end up taking care of that?
No,
Jason and I talked about it on one
It
side of the
just
road,
needs to
actually.
be
and
I
Oh, I
have the
did
key,
go-
I have the
unlocked.
key in my truck.
I
will
did
go
go
over
lock,
that.
I did lock it, but the screw on the bottom is coming out,
Okay, but that's not what the problem was. The problem was is that it wasn't,
locked.
right, well, it was locked, but it wasn't
Right,
locked
I fixed it the
through.
other day, I fixed
Yeah,
it.
so I had thrown the bat box in front of it.
Okay, so I put the bat box up against it again, because the screw on the bottom is coming up, but it is relocked.
We
I will
want to
go there
spend
this
some
weekend
time
and
there,
fix
though.
it.
We have some trash there, and
Well,
it's
Jason
kind
and I
of
talked about it,
unsightly.
yeah,
Okay, good.
it's,
Terrible
Okay,
one
good.
there.
All right, that's the
Okay.
first time I actually got over there. I did volunteer several times to fix that. So that's the end of my input.
Okay. All right, thank you, Diane. Harry?
Okay, so January's coming up. I'll put the application in for the fishing derby. I will talk to the
wait, do
summer,
you have a date for the fishing derby?
yes.
Okay.
Oh, you do? What is it?
Could we table this for a while, till the next meeting?
May 6th, I think.
Could we table this?
Good idea.
Yeah, that's all right, but the other thing I'm gonna do in January is I'm gonna go talk to the principal of the grammar school to get the okay to put posters up, just so we get that. That
Gotcha.
was one
Yeah,
thing that we.
you have to submit them and have them look at it, and then they okay it.
Yeah,
I think
that's
to the
fine.
superintendent, actually, but go ahead.
At the last minute, we talked to Christina Harrison, and we had a email go out to every parent at the
Yeah, I
elementary
know.
school too, so that's something we should do
But-
again.
And that's fine, but I also feel that one of the things that, to improve it was to get those posters
Yeah, we
planted
used to
in
do
the
that.
school,
Yep,
so the
Good
kids
idea.
could actually read them,
Good
okay?
idea.
Now, the other thing, to Diane's point about loaning fishing rods,
Could we table this till next meeting, please?
no,
Okay. Go ahead.
sorry.
No problem.
Keep it going.
Keep
We got
going.
we got
Keep
things
on a roll.
going on in
Keep on a roll.
non-public, but go ahead, Harry.
Okay.
You're good.
What happened was that I ran into a conflict about loaning fishing rods with the Recreation Committee, they feel strongly that we should have loaning fishing rods, okay? Now, whether I didn't fight it. It did cause Diane, it did cause some kind of problems and miscommunications. There are extra fishing rods that we can work that out as we get closer. But I needed to state that the Recreation Committee definitely strongly felt that.
Can I make a suggestion?
You got 5 months, we got 6 months to figure it out.
Well, I want to hear the suggestion though, before we
Let the
don't get it.
Recreation Commission
Pardon?
let the Recreation Commission loan the fishing rods if they feel strongly
Right.
about it.
We're working with the Recreation
Right.
Committee for the fishing thing, so, all right, I'll stop.
Okay.
I'll give her a break.
Okay.
Good, because I have something next. Or
Okay.
Can I go next?
We'll go, anything, Mr. Croto?
Just quickly, so we had
Go
the
to you, Les.
Lower Merrimack Local River Advisory Committee meeting last night at Nashua City Hall. Diane was there and a bunch of other Litchfield residents.
Great.
The committee was very happy that a lot of people from Litchfield stepped up to be on board. It was a very good meeting, and I think, Diane, you certainly learned a lot, I'm sure. And,
Yeah, you already saw that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else went? You and-
Chris Burns
Oh, good.
and Jeff Town, the gentleman who was just,
And Pete
and
Stone.
Pete Stone from the Capital
Wow.
Improvement Committee.
I think Jeff and I are the only two that are really kind of signed in to do
Right.
it.
Right, but
Yeah.
I think anybody can go, it's a public meeting,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. And just another thing too, at that meeting, the Nashua Regional Planning Commission was Emma Rierick, who was doing the Merrimack River corridor management plan, was there. So she's working to finalize the corridor management plan, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send out this email. She sent it to the members of the committee, but I'll send it to you guys as well, of the plan as it's been revised. And she said that, you know, if we have any additional comments or if you want to, you know, add something, that we have till December 8th to get those to her. So,
What's the date of the revised plan?
oh, I don't know what the
Because I
specific.
have a plan in the
date.
office and I don't know if that's the
Yeah.
one that they're.
So, I mean, I think
She said it got juggled around.
It got
right?
juggled around. I think she got it down to like, I can't remember the number of pages. It was
I was under 100.
under 100. It was under
Yeah.
100. It was like
Yeah.
originally
It's
100,
still
and now
like-
it's.
Yeah, yeah.
But she's still trying
Who's
to.
doing is it at NRPC?
Emma Rierick is her name.
She presented to us.
Yeah, she's the one that presented to our the Conservation Commission.
Okay,
So,
okay.
and
Must have been
that's it.
October.
Mr. French, do you have
No,
anything?
I'm all set.
I don't have anything. Joan?
I just have to quickly say, I asked Camille Patson at the NRPC for a hard copy, so if anybody wants a hard copy of this, I can make a copy. I have the color copy. Sorry, guys, I asked. And if anybody wants a hard copy of this one, let me know.
That's the draft. We did do a little bit of a change on that.
Is the new one on the portal?
Yep.
Okay, so I print the new one.
I can print some of those off. I actually have spares that I can
Okay,
hand out.
okay, and but if anybody wants this one, because I hate to see this get left on the shelf because there's a lot of information in here.
How do we get a copy of that?
Just email me and I will make several copies. We have a new copy machine. And Mr. French, we can order one of these for Mr. French. The budget's $17, I think it is,
Okay.
$20, I forget.
Are you
Probably should
interested in having?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have
That'd
one.
be good.
Yeah,
Reference.
okay, so maybe I'll order one or two. I'll see how much they are.
Just let me know so we can talk with Karen, and we're gonna exhaust our budget down to the penny.
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. Public input, I'm gonna open public input, seeing there's nobody
Oh, wait,
here.
approval of minutes.
I will close public input. Oh, thank you, Diane, for keeping me on track. Approval of meeting minutes.
Yes, I
I read them.
have several.
So, before
read
you
some.
say anything,
Anything.
Joan, I was gonna say this at the beginning of the meeting. I think we've done okay tonight.
Have we, can you follow us tonight?
But over the past few months, there's been a lot of chatter during the agenda items and a few tangents going, left, right, and center. And I think that makes it difficult, and everybody is guilty of this, Diane.
Okay,
It's not
okay,
only
okay.
you, well, except Mr. Croto.
It's me.
Definitely not. Harry, not so much. But it causes an issue with, I think, the minute taker of trying to keep things straight. And I think we noticed in the meeting minutes this month that there was minutia and tangential items in our minutes that related to specific items on our agenda. So I'll probably say this at the next meeting. Let's just try to keep focused, keep on track. There's a couple reasons for it. It's number one is the minutes, but number two, meetings that could be 35, 40 minutes, go over an hour. And we often spend time after the fact in non-public where I think we get a lot of things done. So, we're eating into that time. And so, moving forward, just everybody stay cognizant of that, to stay focused. And if you have something that goes off on a tangent, write it down and just bring it up during.
Don't you think we did much better tonight, though?
I think tonight was pretty good.
Much better
Yeah.
than,
So anyway, go ahead, Joan, on the meeting minutes. Thank you for keeping me in order here.
okay, first of all, should I just go over the quick things? Okay, in the Musterfield section, Musterfield Bittersweet, number 3. Just comma, on the first line, Musterfield is covered with a bittersweet, comma, an invasive plant. That's all I have there. The Darapon milfoil section needs a bit of a rework. Could I work with Matt on that? There's sentences and, like, Selectman Leary should be Lynch. There's
All right, okay.
a couple sentences, this last paragraph should come out completely, I think. The, under number 3, Darapon milfoil, the third paragraph on page 3
Oh, yeah, that should come up.
should come out.
It's not about Dara.
Yeah.
Right, and
That right here.
go back up to right under Darapon milfoil, the
That was a
second,
tangential
that was the tangential item.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that one was you, not me.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, Joan.
Right,
We're all guilty.
we're all guilty. The second sentence under number 3, okay, Vice Chair McKibben mentioned that the company that was contacted should say Water and Wetland is the name of the company, just in parentheses. Is still working on getting its New Hampshire state permit, add New Hampshire. And then that second sentence should come out complete, the company said that it would be willing to come in and test for native milfoil. That's incorrect, take that right out of there. It is native milfoil. The cost of treating Darapon would be approximately, let's say, approximately $5,000.
Right there?
Yep.
Yep.
That's about it. It's not as bad as I thought. I was reading it.
I read through them and I didn't even
I didn't even catch that one.
catch that, so.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, I have to go to the
So
next
are
page.
you gonna be able to,
Just take that paragraph out.
Yeah, I can take that part, but email me the name of the company.
Sure, I will.
okay,
In the changes. If you could email, would you rather have emails of the changes before the meeting? Because I know when I used to do
I
them.
thought we're not supposed to do that. I got in
Um,
trouble for that before, but anyway, let me
I used
continue on to
do it
page
every
4.
month. All right.
Oh, yeah, in B, just take out that last sentence, that was just a joke. Mr. Brennan acknowledged many people would like to drink Smirnoff vodka.
wait, which one?
B, this last sentence on B.
This is-
Mr. Brennan acknowledged many people like to drink Smirnoff vodka nips in the parking lot.
Well, I don't know if you have to take it out as true.
It was said.
I know, it was said, don't have to put everything that was said in there.
I'm guilty too. Diane, you're the one that's not guilty here. Joan's guilty and I'm
Not
guilty.
yet.
Oh, wait, was it Ms. Plansky down here, wait a minute. C belongs up with B. Ms. Plansky said she talked to the LPD about by the property at night. I think that belongs up with B,
Yep.
okay.
See him in there.
And this is why, that meeting was really all over the place. I don't blame the secretary,
At all.
minute taker at all.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, I have the one, I just note I from my,
You did that, Harry.
okay,
Job, Harry. 25.
I think that's all I have. And under, one thing for Diane, under, member input, I picked up some folders hanging folders at the free table, so in
Ooh,
January,
nice.
maybe.
You and I could sit
Maybe
down.
January.
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay, for the cabinet. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we
do we
approve
do the next
the
meeting?
minutes of the last, of the
November 3rd,
November 3rd meeting with the corrections,
as amended.
as amended, sorry.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Harry, seconded by Diane. All in favor, say, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, all abstained, motion carries 600. Okay, last item on the agenda,
Name, send.
Ms. Plansky, next meeting?
January 5th, 2023, here at the fire station?
Location to be determined.
Okay.
All right, winding down here, public input. I'll open public input, seeing nobody's here, I'll close public input. And I think that concludes the meeting. Does anybody have anything else? Okay, that concludes the meeting for this evening. We're actually gonna go into non-public per RSA 91A:3D, consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of property. We will only come out of non-public to adjourn the meeting. So I'd like to make a motion to go into non-public roll call
I'll
vote.
second it.
You have to roll call. So
Okay,
Harry,
so motion by myself,
Yes.
seconded by Harry. Go ahead.
Yes. Yay?
Yay,
or yes?
yay.
Yay.
Aye.
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 Motion carries 600. Did we do that correctly? Okay. So we are now going into non-public. Have a good evening, Litchfield.
I'd like to